Hey there viewers, we're here at the Games Repository taking a look at the cards of Tarkir spoilers ready for the pre-release this weekend. I'm Thresh, and you all know, Brick. So we're going to be looking at it starting in colour order, following the collector's numbers, and I hope you enjoy it and find what we're going to be saying useful. So now to cut to the cards.
Right, we're going to be running blue for this set.
Yeah, perfect.
Going to start with Blinding Spray, which is a 5-drop, 4 colourless, 1 blue, instant. Creatures your opponent control get -4, -0 until end of turn, draw a card. Yeah, it's an alright card. Could be quite useful with your prowess ability, also dropping down your opponent's attacks, and you get a draw. 5 is a bit pricey.
I'm not a fan. I don't like these effects at the best of times. Pseudo control for blue. You're right though, being able to draw a card is pretty useful. It's just so steeply costed. I don't know. We'll see. Next up, cancel. 1 colourless blue, instant, counter target spell. This is becoming one of the major staples in blue, and in fact has been in standard since M10, I think, possibly before that. In fact, before that, from it was Time Spiral. And yeah, it's a basic counter spell. It's pretty good. It's obviously the costing that the designers now think countering spells should be priced at.
Yep. We've got some better blue coming up later. This kind of effect. We'll get to that one in a minute. Yeah, Council's mainstay, so it will definitely be useful in limited. If you pull one, you're probably going to put one in under control. Right, so next up we've got Clever Impersonator, which is a 4-drop, 2 colourless, 2 blue, 0/0 creature shapeshifter. This is the mythic rare. You may have Clever Impersonator enter the battlefield as a copy of any non-land permanent on the battlefield. Now, the key to that text is any non-land permanent, not creature. It can be absolutely anything that you want it to be. Quite useful for a 4-drop really, especially as a creature. There's some very interesting tricks. I'm already thinking in my Yissen deck it could be quite a powerful card. So yeah, you get one of these, you are going to be loving it.
I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. I think it's going to see a lot of play. Like a lot of play.
Yeah.
So next up we have Crippling Chill. This is a 2 colours, 1 blue instant. Tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Draw a card. Pretty useful spell. More pseudo removal, this time more effective than the -4, -0. You can stop a creature from attacking you and stop it from being able to block when you swing in. Effectively for 2 turns.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, quite a nice card. I like it. Next up we've got Dig Through Time, which is an 8-drop double blue, but it sounds pricey, but this has got the Delve ability, which is the one that I'm most excited about. So each card you exile from your graveyard while casting this spell pays for 1 colourless mana. So you could, if you've got enough cards in your graveyard, cast this for 2 blue. Look at the top 7 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand and the rest at the bottom of your library in any order. I would prefer this to say the rest into your graveyard, so then you've got more fodder for delving later. But it's if you can get this into play for 2, it's a blooming good card, I think. I don't know.
It's got a lot of potential thanks to the delve mechanic. You're right, you just got to be able to get enough cards into your graveyard to make casting it worthwhile.
I think that's going to be the problem. You've got to get those 6 cards into the graveyard to make this cost effective. So this is going to be a mid to late game. If you're losing a lot of cards already,
Definitely.
You need some kind of self-mill to make this delve mechanic kind of work. And this could have been it if it wasn't at the bottom of your library.
So next up we have Disdainful Stroke. 1 colourless, 1 blue, instant, counter target spell with converted mana cost 4 or greater. That's a pretty nice spell. It's a good way to deal with mid-ish to late game spells. It only costs you 2, one of which is colourless. Great for multicoloured decks. It's a good effect. I like it.
And it's not limited to what kind of spell it is either.
Yeah.
So, yeah, nice card. Next up, Dragon's Eye Savants, which is a 2-drop, 1 colourless, 1 blue, 0/6 human wizard. That's pretty amazing, I think. 2-drop for a 0/6. But it's also got the morph ability, which pay 3, turn it face down. All you have to do is reveal a blue card from your hand, so it's actually more expensive to play than playing out straight, but it has this additional ability of when it's turned face up, look at target opponent's hand. So you're paying 1 extra colourless mana to look at your opponent's hand by showing them 1 blue card from yours. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that card, I think.
Yeah, it's not a terrible card. Good blocker. Yeah, it's alright.
You're not taking with the 2 mana for a 0/6?
No, not at all.
No.
Although it doesn't have defender, to make it effective outside of blocking, you have to invest a lot into it.
Yeah.
I don't feel that the 0/6 is always that good. It's not terrible. It's a good wall. It's just very few situations where being just a wall is that good for you. Next up we have Embodiment of Spring. 1 blue mana for a 0/3 elemental creature. Pay 1 colourless, 1 green, tap him. Sacrifice Embodiment of Spring, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Interesting little creature, good little blocker early on. You get the 2 mana and you can help stabilise your mana base, which is especially useful in this set, given the tri-colour wedges.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would put him into my deck to test it out and see how it plays. It wouldn't be my first pick. I don't know. I do like the pay 2 getting a land, and it's a 0/3 for a 1-drop, so that's a plus to me. I think that's quite well balanced.
Yeah.
Alright, next up we have Force Away. It's a 2-drop, 1 colourless, 1 blue, instant. Return target creature to its owner's hand. And it also has Ferocious, which is if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Yeah, 2-drop to return a creature to your opponent's hand, that's quite good. And the Ferociousness gets you a draw, but you've also got a discard on that draw. So actually, this could be more useful in the Delve decks, I think. Yeah, it's nice. I'm not sold on it though.
I really like this spell. It's admittedly a slightly less good version of Unsummon, but 2 mana to back. But what we had before was 2 mana bounce target creature you don't control and bounce a creature you do control, whereas this time it's just the opponent's creature.
Oh, the Peel from Reality.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
It's
which
a stronger
useful
feel for
card.
reality, and it's Ferocious is just the icing on the cake, really. It helps you to fix your hand, or if you say got no cards in hand, you can choose, no, I don't want to. Don't need to draw.
Yeah.
We'll see that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I play Peel from Reality in my own deck, so I could be wrong on that one. It's been known before. Next up, we've got Glacial Stalker, which is a 6-drop, 5 colourless, 1 blue, 4/5 elemental, which has the morph ability, which brings its cost down to 3 colourless to morph it, and then up 4 colourless and 1 blue to morph. This is a very, very common blue morph creature, semi-fatty. Yeah, could be alright if you need a bomb, maybe, in a game.
Could be alright in limited. Could be alright. So, next up we have Icy Blast. X 1 blue, instant. Tap X target creatures. Ferocious. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untap step. So what we have here is a bit of a hoser. It taps down all your opponent's creatures, leaving you free to swing in with your large prowess creatures, or whatever creatures you happen to have at the time. And if you have Ferocious, it stops a reprisal on your opponent's turn if you don't kill them then and there. It's a pretty cool spell.
I like this one.
Yeah, good sideboard card.
Then we've got Jeskai Elder, which is 2-drop, 1 colourless, 1 blue for a 1/2 with Prowess, which is the casting a non-creature spell, gives +1/+1. And when it deals combat damage to player, you may draw a card if you do discard a card. Yeah? Pretty simple card. Uncommon. Probably see a lot of play in Limited, I think, but not out of that, I don't think.
No. Not a bad creature, though.
No.
Not bad at all. So next up we have Jeskai Wind Scout. This is a 2 colourless, 1 blue, 2/1 bird scout creature with flying and prowess. So 3 mana for a 2/1 with flying is already not bad. Putting prowess on top makes for a really good creature. So a lot of turns you're going to end up hitting them with a 3/2 for 3 mana with flying. Yeah, I like it. I really like it. But then I like prowess as an ability, especially limited.
It's going to be a useful card, especially for the common cost as well. I think this is going to be a well-seen card. Right, next up we have got Karua Spell Snatcher, which is a 4-drop, 3/3 Naga Wizard in blue. It's got the Morph ability. The Morph ability makes it more expensive. It makes it 4 colourless, double blue when you morph it. But when it does morph, you counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into your owner's graveyard. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost for as long as it remains exiled. That is pretty amazing.
It's a good ability. It is, and you get a 3/3 body out of it on the other side. Like you say, you can play it turn 3. You have to protect it, of course, but at least you can play it turn 3 as a bit of a threat. Hit your opponent in the face with it a few times before turning it up and really ruining their day.
Yeah, and then you've got this ability to play whatever they cast without paying its mana cost.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what it is that you've countered. It's going to sit there. Yeah, I think that's going to be quite a useful card. I like it.
So next up we have Mistfire Weaver. 3 colours, 1 blue for a 3/1 Jin Wizard creature with flying and morph 3. 2 colours, 1 blue. When Mistfire Weaver is turned face up, target creature you control gains hexproof under turn. Not a bad creature again. Could be quite a good way in Limited to protect one of your creatures that you really want to save while still retaining a good damaging body with flying built in.
Alright, next up we got Monastery Flock, which is a 3-drop, 2 colourless, 1 blue, 0/5 bird, defender flying. This has also got morph, and it morphs for 1 blue. Defender flying 0/5. I quite like defenders in Limited. And the morph cost makes it a little bit more expensive, but you can spread it across more turns. And it becomes 0/5, so you could do a few little combat tricks with that one. Nice little card.
Netting some damage while it's face down, turn it face up to make it a good blocker.
Yeah, and you can do that in the middle of combat once you've assigned it as a blocker if they do anything funky as well.
So, next up we have Mystic of the Hidden Way. 4 colours, 1 blue for a 3/2 human monk creature. Mystic of the Hidden Way can't be blocked. Morph, 2 colours, 1 blue. Pretty cool creature. You can use its morph to try and play it a turn early, get it face up on turn 4. Not bad. The fact you can't be blocked is quite useful. Could be good with the right kind of equipment and what's not on. Not bad, but not special.
No. I think it could win some games though. The unblockable at 3 in Limited. Doing just chipping away at your opponent can sometimes get you the win.
Yeah.
So could be quite a handy guard. Then we've got Pearl Lake Ancient, which is a 7-drop, 5 colourless, 2 blue, 6/7 Leviathan. It has flash, which is pretty amazing, and can't be countered, and it also has prowess. Return 3 lands you control to their owner's hand. Return Pearl Lake Ancient to its owner's hand. So you can draw this back anytime you want if it gets targeted by spells or anything like that. 7 for a 6/7 with flash. There's a reason why it's a mythic rare, and I think it's right there, especially with this prowess ability.
Yeah. It's a fun creature. It's got quite a steep mana cost, which is a shame. But what you get for it is quite good. It'll definitely win you games in Limited, definitely. So next up we have Quiet Contemplation. 2 colours, 1 blue, enchantment. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay 1 colourless. If you do, tap target creature opponent controls and it doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Once again, good for a prowess deck. For 1 extra mana you get to tap stuff down and stop it from untapping. It's pretty cool, it's more pseudo removal for blue. It's quite nice.
Yeah. Next up, River Wheel Aerialists. 6 drop, 5 colourless, 1 blue, 4/5. Dingy Monk. I get told off for that pronunciation. I know it should be something else. It's flying and has prowess. So 6 for a 4/5 with flying is okay, but you've also got that prowess ability built in there, so it's quite funky.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad for space filler.
Is it just Jin?
Jin, yeah.
Jin, yeah.
So next up, Scaldkin. 3 colourless, 1 blue for a 2/2 elemental creature with flying. Pay 2 colourless, 1 red. Sacrifice Scaldkin. Scaldkin deals 2 damage to a creature or player. So 4 mana for a 2/2 with flying is pretty beastly-ish, especially limited. However, for the 3 mana, you can sack it to do 2 damage to a creature or player. Good for forcing a bit of extra damage through, or for finishing off a particularly annoying creature. Could be good if you block, sack it in response to kill a different creature.
Yeah, soak up the damage. Then we've got Scion of Glaciers, which is a 4 drop, 2 colourless, 2 blue, 2/5. Elemental creature. You can pay 1 blue and it gets +1/-1 until end of turn. I quite like that card. Yeah, not really a lot you can say about it. It's quite a mid-range card. 4 mana for a 2/5 is okay, and then you can turn it into 4/3 quite easily. Could be quite a handy card, I think.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Could lead to some good plays. Next up, Set Adrift. 5 colourless, 1 blue sorcery with Delve. Put target non-land permanent on top of its owner's library. Pretty good way to get rid of a creature and know just what your opponent's about to draw. Delve means you can cost it for a lot less if you do it at the right time. Strong limited card. Quite weak constructed card.
Be nicer if it was at instant speed and then you could use it to remove some of it, save one of your cards or something when it's being targeted by a spell.
Yeah.
Then we got Singing Bell Strike, which is a 2 drop, 1 colourless, 1 blue enchantment aura. Enchant creature. When it enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. That's any untap step. And enchanted creature has 6 colourless mana, untap this creature. So for 2 mana you are shutting a creature down. I like it. Nice bit of pseudo removal there. Could be quite a handy card in limited.
Strong card. I like it. I'm with you. So next up we have Stubborn Denial. 1 blue mana, instant. Counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 1. Ferocious. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, counter that spell instead. This is a great card. Really, really great. For 1 mana, stopping your opponent from casting something early game when it's really tricky to pay that 1 extra is really good. And from there, it only gets better mid to late game when you've probably got a creature with power 4 or greater in play, and you can just flat out counter it. Doesn't matter how much mana they try to pay.
You're limited to non-creature spells, obviously, but it could be useful having a couple in a deck.
Yeah.
I think. Hey, this might go on to modern.
Yeah.
Alright, then we've got Tygam's Scheming. 2-drop, 1 colourless, 1 blue sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, put any number of them into your graveyard and the rest back on top of your library in any order. So this is one of the cards that's going to help you a lot with Delve. You could move 5 cards from your library into your graveyard, and if there's anything out of those 5 cards that you really want to draw next turn, you just put them back on top. You can even play 2 mana just to fix your next 5 draws. I love this card. It's at sorcery speed, so it's not perfect, but oh no, this is going to be a big card for me. Well, standards in.
Wholeheartedly agree. Very strong card, and I definitely agree. If it was instant speed, it would be perfect, but perhaps a bit too powerful. I love
common.
Yeah, I love that blue is getting some more deck fixing.
I mean, this is better than Ponder. Well, Ponder was at instant speed, wasn't it?
Ponder is a sorcery, but
oh, it is. Yeah.
Ponder is Ponder. It does a lot of crazy things.
And you can even thin your deck out as well if you've got a lot of land that you draw on. I like this card. I want to play set of these straight away.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking to get. Then we've got 1,000 Winds, which is a 6-drop, 4 colourless, 2 blue, 5/6 creature elemental with flying and a morph 4/7 with the 2 blue. When it's turned face up, return all other tapped creatures to their owner's hands. That's just insane. You can morph at any time. An opponent swings in with everything, and you turn this face up, and their entire field gets returned back to their hand.
Yeah, very strong limited card. I would caution against constructive play, but some people might be able to make it work. But in limited, it's going to be devastating.
In a morph deck, I think we'll probably see standard morph decks coming out of this. I think it could be quite a handy card, but it's a double blue drop.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a difficult thing to do.
So next up we have Treasure Cruise. 7 colours, 1 blue for a sorcery with Delve and draw 3 cards. So once again, strong card, mid to late game. Could be particularly good because you can pay a low cost to draw 3 cards. 3 cards is a lot to draw, and generally will cost you upwards of 4 mana to do. So potentially very strong. Kind of like it, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I think even though it's got Delve, it's still a little bit on the pricey side. But the three draw would be very, very useful. So we've got Water Whirl, which is a 6-drop, 4 colourless, 2 blue instant. Return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hands. 6 for returning 2 creatures isn't too bad. It's at instant speed. I still think it's a little bit pricey, especially with the double blue drop.
Yeah. So next up we have Weave Fate. 3 colours, 1 blue, draw 2 cards, instant. So what we have here, as you saw before, it doesn't have Delve, only draws you 2 cards compared to 3, but only costs 4 mana, and you can do it instant speed. This is a pretty good spell. It's like Divination on steroids. It's not bad. Might see some play.
Next up is Wetland Samba, which is a 2-drop, 2/1 elk. There's not really a lot else you can say about this card. It's okay. I think there's a lot of better cards you could probably put in your 2 slot. 2/1 isn't brilliant, and elks don't really get a lot of tribal buffing. So I can't see this being much of a card. Maybe if you're desperate for a 2-drop creature, or you want something that you can chuck in to delve later with. Maybe pay 2 mana, chuck it out, chump block it, maybe take one of their creatures out, and then you delve it later on. That's the only good use I can see for it.
Yeah, pretty basic standard creature. So next up we have Whirlwind Adept. 4 colours, 1 blue for a 4/2 Jin Monk with hexproof. Not a particularly good creature. High power,